And we're back here courtside in Newark. Ira Thorpe, joined now by NJIT head coach Pedro Trevino. Hey, your team fought.
Yep.
Second and third set, you guys, first set, clearly UNH was the team that outpowered you guys, but you found seams, you found ability to score points, but ultimately it's just too much, I think, experience for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and actually I got caught up watching you a couple times over here on some plays. You're rooting for us, so I appreciate that because I know you know Chris very well.
Well, I know where the paycheck comes from.
But yeah, no, we did. We played well at times. This is kind of like, I sound like a broken record, and I tell my girls, like, we do a lot of really, really good things, but we don't do it enough at the same time. And I think that's where we struggle a lot, where, I mean, game 2, game 3, we're up, and then just like that, 4 points in a row. I mean, I think the break in game 3, it was, 15-14, and then they scored 7 out of the next 9 points. So it's a learning experience still for a lot of our girls, but at the same time, I tell these girls, they have to be ballers on the court. Like, there's nothing that we can do during practice that can prepare you for this. So you have to be ready on game day to play.
Second and third set, it was 11-8 both sets, and you guys were right there. You talked about how you did a lot of good things, just not enough. Mm-hmm. How do you get to a point with this program where you do a lot of good things and do it more often?
Well, I mean, I hate to say this, better players that are gamers sometimes, and that's not a mean thing to any of the girls on this program. I love every single one of them.
Sports.
But, the way we're going now, that's just the way it is, the way the portal is, the way NIL deals are, that's just college sports now. So my job is always, and I tell the girls I love them, but every year I have to bring in the best players to try to take over their spot. And that's what we're trying to do. But, these girls are working hard. I think we're technically out of the playoffs, which is fine. But every practice they're working hard. They're trying to get better. But when it really comes down to it, Ira, on game day like today, this is where we need to make plays, not in practice all the time, here. And that's where we struggle. So until girls start making more consistent plays late in games, early in games, middle of games, unfortunately, this is what happens.
For me, this was an easy match to prepare for because I've known both you and Chris Feliciano for UNH for, 20 years for at least. We're getting old here.
Yes, I know.
But, I mean, when I knew with New Hampshire what was going to be key to them today was that first touch. But for you guys, UNH threw a lot of punches, but you have to be happy with how many defensive plays you guys made, and players lunging everywhere, throwing bodies around, diving into tables. I mean, Doe Emile, we highlighted her in the pregame, and her defense was electric. You have to at least be pleased that they're making defensive plays to allow you guys to have a chance to run some kind of a system.
100%. I mean, it's a loss, and it still hurts, but at the same time, we did a lot of good things, and I tell the girls that. It's just like, if we brought that defensive intensity on Friday against Bryant, that would have been a different match. You know what I mean? So we blocked really well against Bryant, and we didn't block hardly at all today. So you know what I mean? So it's like, we have to learn how to do everything well during a whole match, not just one thing real well and then everything else average. We have to bring everything and play at average or above average. And that's where we struggle. And that's why we're in games at times, and then other games we're not, because where was our blocking? We're trying to move girls around to put Inesh against their better blockers. And I'm not blaming Inesh, but, our strengths did not come out. But to go back to your point, yes, 100%. Our defense was very, very good. And I'm very proud of how they hustled and went for every ball.
I always like to wrap up when we have a chance to chat with a positive. And I looked at, yes, Kova has been playing very well of late, but a lady at dancer today, I thought maybe had one of her best matches of the year, maybe one of these matches you expected her to have when she transferred from Arkansas State. But she finished with 8 kills, had 7 digs, balled with a couple blocks. Talk about her contributions.
Yeah, one of the things at the end of the last season, we kind of evaluated what did we need as a program. And I always thought all these teams have that big hitter, right? So that's why we try to bring in Elida to be that for us, and a leader. We're still kind of very young. We're not in matches. Try to bring her in with that experience. And, she's done a great job for us throughout this year, even being a leader on the court, got a great serve, has a great attitude. So, I think a lot of things that she's brought has helped us and put us in spots to win games.
Well, still a lot of season to play, and we'll see if the Highlanders, you might be out of the playoff picture now, but still can very much be a spoiler.
Yep.
And, perhaps maybe knock somebody else who hopes that they're in the America East tournament out of conference play. Today it was UNH, though, as that team, as they hit 280 overall with 43 kills today, led by Hannah Serbusic with 12 kills and 17 digs, another double-double for her. So for our entire crew, this is Ira Thor saying good afternoon from the Joel and Diane Bloom Wellness and Event Center in Newark, where your final score was New Hampshire 3 and NJIT 0, 25-18, 25-20, and 25-17. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of NJIT Athletics and ESPN. Be well, everybody.